Good day, everyone, and welcome to Reflections again today. We've talked about what goes round comes around. We've said whatever you sow, you will reap, and that when you sow seeds of repentance, that you will reap a harvest of forgiveness and God's blessing for those of us who feel that we are undeserving of God's blessing. And today, I want you to know that your works will speak for you in places that you did not know. Your work will speak for you in places that you do not know. Again, taking me back to the fact that you must be confident and assured of God's faithfulness, of God's goodness, of God's truthfulness, that He will not let you down, He will not forsake you, and whatever good work that you do will not be in vain. I want you to rest assured that God will reward you. I want you to know that beyond any reasonable doubt, as we lawyers will say from time to time. So your work will speak to you in places that you don't know. You will get some things done for you simply because of what you have done or because of what somebody close to you has done. We looked at Jonathan's son, who was blessed. Let me quickly even go to that story now. 2 Samuel chapter 9. 2 Samuel chapter 9. And they brought, when David said, "Is there anyone left in the house of Jonathan in the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake?" So Ziba came and said, "Oh, there's a son of Jonathan. His name is Mephibosheth." And Mephibosheth was a son of Jonathan who was actually lame in his feet because the nurse had dropped him while carrying him and trying to escape with him. And what did David say to Mephibosheth? Let's look at verse 6. "And Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, son of Saul, came to David, fell on his face and paid homage. And David said, 'Mephibosheth.' And he answered, 'Behold, I am your servant.' And David said, 'Don't fear. I will show you kindness for the sake of your father Jonathan. I will show you kindness for the sake of your father Jonathan.'" Please, put away every act of unkindness from your life. Let your children reap a harvest of favor and blessing because you have been kind. I remember many years ago when we were all still home, somebody drove into our house at that time and asked, "Is this so-so and so's house?" And they said, "Yes." And he said, "I saw the name of XYZ, which happened to be my sister, on the list of candidates being considered for entrance into the university, into the college for a particular course." And he said, "I'm going to be traveling, but I want to make sure I do everything possible to ensure that you are admitted because your father was kind to me when he was in a particular government position." Now, my father didn't even know who this person was, probably didn't even remember him. We didn't know who this person was, but my father had been kind to him. He remembered that act of kindness, took the trouble to drive nearly an hour to our house, found out the house, came and said, "I want you to know that I'm going to do everything to make sure that you are chosen. You are amongst the people who would be chosen for this admission." David said to Jonathan, "I'm going to be kind to you for the sake of your father." The things you do will speak in places that you don't even know. It is critical, again, if you have not been a good person, if you have not been a kind person, if you have not been a responsible person, you must change. You must change because God is positioning people for blessings. And the work you do will speak for you in places that you do not know. Some people, it's just the way you smile at everyone. That smile may lift somebody's countenance and they will never forget. Some people, it's the way you serve, maybe at work or in church with all your heart, and people are watching you. And when the time comes, your name comes up somewhere and somebody there will say, I know that person. You need to see the way that person served in the church or how they served at this position at work. They are responsible. You don't know who is talking about you. You don't know who God will raise to be the angel that will bring forth your blessing. You don't know. You do not know. And that is why you must be careful. When God says to us, love your neighbor as yourself. Whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your heart. You are not doing it for somebody else. You are not doing it for him. You are doing it for you. You are doing it for your seed after you. Jonathan was kind to David. Who reaped the benefits of that kindness? It was his lame son, Mephibosheth, who could not help himself or do anything for himself. But Jonathan had paid forward. He had paid forward. Every act of kindness that you perform, you are paying forward for you, for your seed after you, because there will be a harvest. Every seed, whether good or bad, brings a harvest. And so today, I want to encourage you. Change some things about you. Be a better person. Show forth the goodness. Show forth the love. Show forth the kindness of Jesus in all of its beauty. And see God raise up angels to bring in a blessing for you and for your seed after you. Believe me, you have done all these things like that young man said. He said, I have kept all these rules since I was a child. You are doing all this and you are a child of God. I have good news for you. Even though it may not seem like it now, I want to assure you that the God of heaven will richly reward you. God bless you. It's Fumi Obilano. It's Reflections.